ちは。誰でもできる英会話過去チャンネルで超速い英語になれるっていうんで、YouTuber マルコのビデオを使ってね、この超速い英語に慣れてもらうっていうのが今回の目的なんですけども、マイク・タイソンがサインをしたグラブを使って、そのグラブをね、靴に作り変えていくっていうビデオを作っています。で、マルコの英語ってその過程を説明するんだけど、この英語がすごい速いんですよ。超速い、ね、でもこの超速い英語になれれば周りの英語がゆっくりに聞こえてくるんじゃないかなと思ってこれを選んでみました。それではまず今日の部分を見てみましょう。
Piece. Then I put the side piece back on and the front toe box back on. So far the shoe's looking so good. Now I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. I noticed something awesome. Look at this. This piece of the tongue is the same size as this. Literally the exact same size. Look at that piece. Then I put the side piece back on and the front toe box back on. So far the shoe's looking so good. Now I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. I noticed something awesome. Look at this. This piece of the tongue is the same size as this. Literally the exact same size. Look at that.
それでは今日の部分をまず見ていきましょう。Then I put the side piece back. サイドピースね、脇の部分を元に戻して、Then I put the side piece back. And そして the front toe box ね、toeのところね、toeのところっていうのはつま先の部分を、back on それを付け直したっていうわけですよね。Then I put the side piece back and the front toe box back on. 脇の部分のボックスを付け直しました。So far the shoe is looking so good. So far っていうのは今のところ the shoe 靴は is looking so good. いい感じにできてきたって言ったんですね。So far the shoe is looking so good.Now I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. Now I am going to でね、gonna. Now I'm gonna do gonna っていうね、言葉が出ましたね。going to の意味です。going to って言ってる時がほとんどないね。I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. tongue ね、下のところを、靴の下のところをつけるって言ったんですね。I'm gonna do だからね、する。何をするかっていうと the tongue of the shoe 靴の下の部分をやるって言ったんですね。そして I noticed something awesome. I noticed 気がついた。I noticed something awesome. Awesome はすごいことに気がついたっていうわけですね。Look at this. これ見て。This piece of the tongue, this piece of the tongue この下の部分のね、この部分はっていうことですよね。is the same size 同じ大きさだ as this これと同じ大きさなんですよ。literally 全く同じサイズです。literally the same size. Look at that それ見てよ。全く同じだって言ったんですよ。Look at that で、比べてみたよね。比べてみたら同じサイズだった。それがすごい発見だっていうわけですね。それでは今日の部分をもう一度見てみましょう。
Piece. Then I put the side piece back on and the front toe box back on. So far the shoe's looking so good. Now I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. I noticed something awesome. Look at this. This piece of the tongue is the same size as this. Literally the exact same size. Look at that.
マルコのビデオを通して超速い英語に慣れて、そして自分の発想を広げてください。それでは最初から今日の分まではね、ずーっと続けて見てみましょ
う。Now that these are done, we can start the Mike Tyson glove shoes. I'm gonna cut it up. How is there that much in there?I don't know how this all fit in there, but this is all inside the glove. When I was taking apart this glove, I actually realized there was a lot of cool stuff I could use on the shoe. Not only the outside red leather, but there was like labels and tags, and even the black liner going around the glove. And there was laces on the glove. This is the signature this I need to save. I obviously took apart the whole shoe first and started out with the smallest piece on the entire shoe. I'm just gonna take a small piece of this. I'm not gonna cut up the signature yet. I'm gonna start with this little piece here. I'm using a small piece of the glove to cover up that end, but it has like kind of a puffy texture to it. So I tried putting glue all around the puffy end, just on the flat part, so when I glued it down, you'd still be able to see the texture. That worked so good. You can still see the end perfectly. Okay, now for the next piece. The piece that goes on top of the end, I just left the original material, but then for the piece that goes on top of that, for this piece, I'm gonna use the inside of the glove. It's like a canvasy white material. It's kind of nice. I already know what you're thinking. That's gonna be such a waste of the outside good part. So instead, I actually went online and ordered the same brand glove. Even though the outside colors don't match, the inside material is exactly the same. This one doesn't hurt to cut up as much as the other one. Oh, what's inside this one? Look at this, the foam pit. I glued it down on top of this piece and then I cut it out, but I left a little border around the whole thing so I could fold it over and glue it down so you would only see the edges of the canvas. I also kind of roughed up the canvas a little bit. I wanted this piece to look super beat up and then all the other pieces to look brand new, especially if I cut some holes in this piece and then the red was poking through. After I sewed it with perfectly clean white thread, I feel like it would look really cool together. Also, by the way, the reason I chose New Balance for this one, because it's actually Mike Tyson's favorite shoe. I'm gonna split this up on the front of the shoes, half of it on this shoe, and then when the other shoe's here, it'll be the other half on that shoe. Also, I'm gonna be FaceTiming Mike Tyson later and showing him the shoes. Just kidding, that's not happening at all. But that would be cool. I'm gonna be extra careful with this part. I'm just gonna line up this piece on the back here and then trace it out with a pen before I even cut it. I carefully cut that piece out of the glove and then I used some glue to stick it to the original piece of the shoe. Also, while that was sitting and drying, I mixed up a little light pink paint just to paint some of these panels that were already white. On the side of the shoe, there was also like a little layer behind that main side panel, which is kind of like the liner. So I peeled that off and used the liner from the glove to wrap around that piece. And then I put that back on the shoe and it was kind of like a little black border poking out behind the white piece. Then I put the side piece back on and the front toe box back on. So far, the shoe's looking so good. Now I'm gonna do the tongue of the shoe. I noticed something awesome. Look at this. This piece of the tongue is the same size as this. Literally the exact same size. Look at that.
マルコの英語ってすごく早いんだけど、少しでもね、これ聞けたと思ったらいいねボタン押してくださいね。それではまた次のビデオでお会いしましょう。I'll see you next time. Bye.